And welcome to the fourth episode of the Fleet Nation podcast, where tonight we have none other than Tiana Von Johnson here with us one more time. Tiana, introduce yourself and let these people know where they can follow you at on social media.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Tiana Von Johnson, your motivator, your chief motivator. Okay. I'm on Tiana Von Johnson on all platforms, and I'm excited to see each and every one of you, hear from each and every one of you, connect with each and every one of you.
Yes, well, welcome again. Thank you. And you guys know it's your host, It's Just Miss Wells. Follow me on Instagram at It's Just Miss Wells. And tonight we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. So, Tiana, I've had the opportunity to interview you before, but I want to take it back to the beginning just for the people that have not had the opportunity to hear a little bit about your mind-blowing journey. So, start us from the beginning. Like, talk just a little bit about what you were doing before you came into the music and entertainment industry and why that's so relevant right now.
All right. So, first of all, let me just start by letting everybody know that I am just a girl from the Bronx. Okay. So, BX, stand up. I'm representing the Bronx. And interestingly enough, there was a moment where I did not represent the Bronx, that I did not even share where I came from. And that actually left a void because the Bronx shaped me in so many ways, especially my roots in hip hop. My father was the record man, in the Bronx, in Harlem. So he was the one that was supplying all the DJs, producers with the music. And I was his daughter, just kind of tacking along, but hearing all the music as well. So I was this kid at 7, 8, 9, and 10 years old, listening to stuff that I probably should not have been listening to at that time. Um, but I definitely was someone that grown to love music. And I had no desire to do anything related to music. I just had a love for music, a passion for what I was hearing and then how it touched people. So back in those days, it was just this young girl from the Bronx working with her father. My father was a bona fide entrepreneur, that person that was out there hustling on the streets, making it happen. And again, I was just watching him. And my father always made it a point to have my brothers and I sell records with him. So not only did I get to learn the music business, but I also got to learn the art of negotiation, how to sell. I was a young kid selling records in the Bronx, in Harlem on the street. Interestingly enough, the Harlem as you guys know it today is not the Harlem that we were on selling records with a 6-foot vendor table, out there. So, but when I look back at those moments, those are the moments that shaped me because I got to watch my father hustling for his family. And I didn't know what all that meant. I just knew that it just meant that you work for yourself, you generate your money, and you make it happen. And so that's where the foundation of Tiana Von Johnson was born.
Man, I think you touched on something critical. Like, it's in you. It's not something that came along the journey. It's something that has been instilled in you from the very beginning.
Absolutely.
So, talk just a little bit about the professions that you've had because you are a woman that wears many hats.
Definitely. So as I was growing in this world as we know it, although I was an entrepreneur, everyone in my world said, go to school, get a good job. So I did just that. By the time I was 20 years old, I got a bachelor's. By the time I was 20, I got an MBA. And I found myself in this world of 9 to 5. And I pause and I say that because I've been getting in trouble by talking about my sisters and brothers who are 9 to 5ers, right? So no disrespect, but I was a 9 to 5er, right? And working in HR and doing the typical traditional kind of everyday redundancy of life. And I'm gonna let you guys know that I was that person that went to work every day and I just couldn't fathom this being my life. I don't know. And I tell people it's that thing that, well, I used to use P. Diddy as an example, but we won't do that right now. we won't do that. although I will not take away his work ethic. Okay. But everything else, I'm going to leave that alone. But I used to be like those people that had that tenacity to win. But I was in this entrapment, I'll say, of a 9 to 5. And so it wasn't that I didn't have pleasure per se in what I was doing. I just got very bored. I'm the type of person that I have to move around. I am like all over the place in my everyday world, even today. And so back then, just picture me. If I'm fast and furious now, imagine how I was when I was this young little whippersnapper, you know? So I was that person that although I was working this 9 to 5 job, I was like, I got to get out there and spread my wings and do other things. So just a person that was working a regular job, um, was very good at it. So made 6 figures young. By the time I was 24, 25 years old, I was making 6 figures, had a nice apartment, had a nice luxury car, had the things that most people would retire with and say, I'm done. I'm going to wait until I'm 65 and retire. I'm going to find me a good man and I'm done. And I was like, yeah, even though I'm making 6 figures, this is not enough.
Okay. Okay. So that's a great segue to what did that lead to? Because, like you said, you hit a pinnacle where most people are satisfied, but Tiana Von Johnson said, "No, there's more out here for me."
Absolutely. So that brings me to my next milestone, which was me making a decision to quit my 9 to 5 job during the recession. It was about 2009. We were going through one of the toughest times in our economy. And I said, I'm going to leave y'all. I'll see y'all later. I'm done. Everybody in my life called me crazy, family, friends included, especially because people were trying to find jobs. And here I am leaving my good 6 figure job. It did not come without its fair share of fear, right? FEAR, fear. It was very fearful. And that because what happens is when you have a lot of voices, and I don't want to call them negative, I think that they were fixed voices. What I mean by fixed voices, and I teach this, they were fixed in their thinking, fixed in their level, fixed in their mindset. And so these fixed voices said, stay safe, be cool, play it safe, relax, not now, not the good time. And I understand why they would say that, but I was that person that was not a fixed mindset. I teach this in my book, 7 Laws to Entrepreneurial Success. The Millionaire Mind Manifesto just came out yesterday. But I teach this, I teach this lion and zebra analogy, or your fixed and growth mindset analogy. And they were very fixed, family and friends included. Some of them still are till this day. What I've come to learn today is fix is not wrong, but fix is just not me. I'm not fixed, I'm growth. And so I left my 9 to 5 job, tried my hand at entrepreneurship in the big city of New York. I got into an industry I knew nothing about, had no passion, no desire. That was the world of real estate. I became in 1 year the first Black female owned real estate broker owner on Wall Street, hit a pinnacle of $1 million in my first year. After everybody told me, no, sit down, stay at your 9 to 5. You can't do it. You can't make it. Hold on, hold on. I was like, no, no, no. And a year later, I was able to generate $1 million my first year in business as a bona fide entrepreneur from leaving my 9 to 5 job.
I mean, it's following you. Like, I can't say it enough that it's in you, not on you, not given to you. It's definitely something that's in you that is making you continuously break the barriers and open up new platforms for women to follow behind you and do these amazing things. I know the first time that we had the opportunity to speak, you also had a project that was out. So talk just a little bit about how you got into the music industry as well.
So the music industry, interestingly enough, just like real estate, not my passion, still until this day. But I'm the type of person, as you said it, and when you said it, funny enough, I think my heart skipped it because sometimes I just don't realize what I'm doing. Let me tell you a funny story. A lot of people in my life that are close, they look at my successes as, oh, that's just Tiana. And in my head, I'm saying, I think I've gotten used to doing some of the most miraculous, amazing things. And my circle know me so well that they just like, oh, okay. So I can wake up one day and say, oh, hey, guys, I just closed a multi-million-dollar deal, wrote 25 books, traveled to 10 countries in 3 days. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. See, all right. And I'm like,
What are you gonna do tomorrow, Tiana?
Right. So it's like, right. So it's like, but funny enough, that keeps me like, did y'all not see what I just did? All right, let me top that. So that keeps me like going because I be like, well, y'all didn't just see the amazing thing I just did last week. All right, let me top that because maybe y'all not paying attention. But it actually kept me on my feet. And so with that said, doing so well as an entrepreneur in real estate, transitioning out of real estate led me to the world of speaking, coaching, product development, with books, traveling around the world, teaching, doing products. I have a handbag line. I made my own board game, just being creative and speaking to people all over the world and just sharing what I'm doing. And that led me to being a bona fide motivational speaker, which I'm very proud of. And one day I was thinking about ways to get my message across because I feel like there's a lot of people who do not come to conferences. They do not invest in themselves to go hear powerful speakers and getting the knowledge and getting the education. However, there's a large group of people who will turn on Spotify or Tidal and listen to music and go about their day to day. So music was a way for me to say, let me figure out another way to get my same message across, but letting you hear it in a different way. And the Motivator Project was just supposed to be a motivational album. That's it. It was just a motivational, and it still very much is. The problem is, in true Tiana fashion, she couldn't just do a little motivational album and step away. No, 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 no. She couldn't just drop a little light 1 2, stay motivated, stay focused, and go about her business. Tiana did a full 18-track album, a movie, a full docufilm, got it on Amazon Prime, which is now streaming on over 200 million households worldwide, and now about to plan motivational concerts all over the world and tour with my Motivator Project all over the world. So trust me, uh, it's just a Tiana thing. I past that.
I mean, that's a tagline that I definitely think that you have the opportunity to brand because that is what your brand is. Is someone that continues to come into these spaces, try new things, and prove that it can work if you have faith and hard work to go along with it. So, Tiana, talk just a little bit about some of the women that's been in your life that have been extremely influential to you as well.
You know, I think when I'm asked that a question like that, you normally look up to people who are doing more or better. For me, my influences are the people that, and I don't mean to say look down. I would say that I look to, that I look in the eye when I go out to conferences or when I host conferences worldwide. Those people who are where I was at 27 years old, trying to leave my 9 to 5 and transition to this world of the unknown. I look up to those who are bold enough to invest in themselves with the little that they have, go out to a conference, fly to Dallas where I'm going to be, or fly out to another city, invest in a hotel, invest in food. I know there's times where I had to invest in travel. I didn't have money for food. You know, airport food is high. You know, you got to stuff a couple things in your bag because you the $4 ginger ale. I mean, come on, that's probably all you got left. But listen, but I look up to the women who have invested in working with me, who have made a decision that I'm going to break out of whatever this is and do better and go higher. I'm inspired. You know, interestingly enough, my clients are not massively successful women. They become massively successful, but I look to that person who is trying to transition, who is looking for a way out, who is looking to do something more. I look up to them because I see me and I see where I was when they come to me. And that inspires me to keep going and keep providing tools and resources and opportunities for them.
I love that. Like the transparency is necessary so people can understand like your influence can come from anywhere. It could be and it doesn't have to be an actual person. It could also be a thing. It's whatever it is that you're able to connect with that brings that extra drive out of you to keep you going and give you that extra push when your back is up against the wall. So I think it's also important to talk just a little bit about some of the things that you've been able to do in your career when times were hard that kept you nose in the ground, grinding, and continuing to go on your journey, because a lot of people don't talk about that. So, is there one part of this experience that you would be willing to share with us?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. You want me to go back to my pain and suffering? Okay, we'll do. You want me to go back to the hurt? Okay. Okay, I will do that. No, but there is a moment that I don't mind sharing, because the moment was not many years ago. It was actually very recent. So if you think about all my success and everything that I shared, making my first million at 27, obviously generating millions more, traveling the world, speaking, teaching, albums, books, games. There was one thing that was missing from my life, and that was love.
Mm.
And with all my success, I mean, I could not attract a king. I just don't understand. And I think I got to a place of desperation. And I like to use that word because I like for it to sound as terrible as it sounds, right? Because that way you could really own it and accept it and move on from it. So I definitely would like to use the word desperation, because I think I probably was, right? To allow a broken man to break me down to the lowest level of myself that I did not know I needed to be broken down to. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. I'm gonna repeat that for the people in the back. I let a broken man come into my life and break me down to the lowest level of myself that I did not realize I needed to be broken down to. So the brief version of the story is that I wanted love, and so there was someone that I knew for a long time, and I thought without going to God that this was a fit, and he ended up being a whole entire demon, right? Literally. And I did not know that. I did not have discernment in terms of I didn't even have, when I look back at it, I didn't even have non-negotiables. Like I didn't even, I was just open to, I just wanted a heartbeat. Like, I mean, that's how, I hate to say it, like, but ladies, like I was just needing like a little piece of anything, right? You know, just to have a connection. When I look back at on that, there was a missing link growing up, where my being a daddy's girl and my father moved. And I'm not blaming him. I'm just telling you what happened. He moved and I was a daddy's girl. And then you find yourself out there looking for love, ending up in all these bad relationships, getting to a place of success and looking around saying, well, everything else came. Well, where's he? Long story short, when he broke me down, it was a very deplorable, it was so dirty. And I think that's what makes it so hard, or it was hard at that time, because it was just dirty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some things that people do in this world that you just say, wow. Like, I look at certain things that go on in our world and I'm just like, wow, like that's just dirty, dog down dirty. I think Iyanla Van Zant said gutter snipe. I like to use that word.
That's a good one.
That was gutter, right? When you really think about it. So he did that, and it was a whole narcissistic abusive relationship. And I know people throw that term narcissist around a lot, but no, I experienced it. I know what it is. Actually, I'm a couple of months away from finishing my doctorate, and my actual dissertation topic was switched to narcissistic abuse in the workplace, because I wanted to research that even more to make sure.
Ooh.
So in a couple of months, I'll be graduating with my doctorate of business, but it's about narcissistic abuse in the workplace. And I needed to go down deeper. And that's why I wanted to focus my dissertation on that. But to answer your question and how I got through that, even though I let him go and I was going through a very tough time and a healing moment, I still had to coach clients. I still had to speak all over the world. I still had to travel. I still had to sell. I still had to maintain my mortgage. I still had to take care of my children. I still had to make sure my son's college tuition was paid. It didn't matter what I was going through. Life was still going on.
Yes.
And so how I got through that, looking in the mirror, cursing myself out at times, real talk, and really like learning your worth. I think we people toss around these terms, but I'm talking about really running down the road of healing. I'm talking about not walking down, running, because everybody told me, Tiana, it's going to take you about 3 years to heal. I said, oh, no, no, no. I don't
Mm,
even have 3 years to sit in this. Because
yeah,
because when you go through something, that pain is like, it's a process of grief. And you can't just turn off pain. It don't work that way. It's a time thing. And I knew I didn't have 3 to 5 years to be sitting in that. So when I tell you I did everything in my power to figure out how to get my body healed, to get my mind right. I mean, when I tell you I did so many things, it would take a whole masterclass to break down the things that I did. But some of them were just really like when they talk about self care. No, you don't understand what self care is. I'm talking about going abstinent, saying I nobody can touch this temple. Like right now, I don't even want nobody to touch me because I don't even trust myself and who I allow to get into my temple. I don't even know no better, right? You gotta go down and you gotta do it like that,
yeah.
right? Hey, let's start with just who my temple and who I'm gonna let in my space and my circle and really committing yourself to that. And then looking at yourself and saying, what do I need to change? My album was healing for me. What can you do that stimulates your mind and keep you happy and smiling and motivated? That's why my album is Motivate Her. Because I had to motivate me. Before I could help anybody else, I had to motivate myself and say, sis, you got it, sis. You bad to the bone. You know, he lost. You didn't lose. What you crying for? Stop playing. Right. So it was all of that. And you'll see a lot of that in my movie, Amazon Prime, Motivating Her, Volume 1 Therapy. You'll see a lot of that in that healing journey. And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do, Miss Wells.
It's not often though that people are willing to look in the mirror instead of point the fingers at everything and everyone else around them. And I think that's a gem that anybody can take from this conversation is that the healing process starts with you. A lot of people need closure or they feel like they need some sort of closure conversations. You need to be able to look at yourself and identify what it is within inside of yourself that even allowed you to be in that situation and then have enough discipline to say, and now I'm going to do something about those things to not end up back here. So sorry to take it to that tender spot, but
Fine.
it's something that more people and I'm not even gonna put a gender on it because I can't say that women need to hear it or men. It's something that everyone needs to hear when they hit those tough spots.
Absolutely.
So talk just a little bit about what you're currently doing. Again, I keep up with you on social media. I recently seen you do an event with Master P, which looked like a phenomenal opportunity for every person that was in the room. So kind of highlight a little bit about what's going on right now within the current life of Tiana Vaughn Johnson.
Yes. Well, there is no days off, right? Even though I am fully retired, and I tell people I enjoy retirement with doing things that I love to do, and that is to empower and motivate people. So teaming up with Master P is like, you can get no better partner than a Master P, who is like a million times more motivated than me, right? Like I'm asleep and he's texting and calling at 6 a.m. and he's on California time. You're like, hold on. Aren't you asleep at 3 a.m.? Like, why are you emailing or calling me, right? But what I love about he and I have known each other for over 7 or 8 years. And now we reconnected because we have the same vision and goal to help people. And he being as busy as he is, I'm like, let's team up because I love to do the day to day with entrepreneurs. So it's a perfect partnership because he is able to give what he has. He's an icon, he's a legend. And I'm happy to partner with him on Master P Masterclass. Y'all make sure y'all come out to Master P Masterclass in Dallas is our next stop. And what I think what we're doing with this is we're not trying to save the world. I think we are. I think it's too much on your shoulders to save the world, but what we can do is save the right people or help the right people. And we are doing small group masterminds and master classes where he's coming in and really teaching people the financial success. He's really trying to bridge the wealth gap in America right now. And interestingly enough, before I tuned into this, I was looking at a clip that he was talking about his cereal brand. And we all know that right now they are going through litigation because of the disparities and all the things that are going on when it comes to Black owned products on the shelves. And so when I look at that, he made a comment. He goes, Rap Snack's been around 25 years. How many Black owned potato chip brands are there? How many Black owned cereal brands are there? And that's the same mindset I have, which is why we get along so well in that way. Because everything that I do have a board game. How many Black owned board games are there? I'm looking at the things that I do, putting out albums with no support, full productions, investing in myself. I always try to go a step above and beyond what the average person will do, and I think he's doing that too on a corporate scale. And so I'm happy to be a producer, a host. I'm the a Master P Master Coach, one of his main coaches that's going around teaching how unlocking your millionaire mind and how to brand your brilliance. So our next one is going to be coming up in May. We're going to be doing another one in Vegas, and I'm just excited to partner with him because he's an icon and he's so smart. So I love it.
So talk a little bit about the power of collaboration, because some people think like I need to come out here in the industry and do it all on my own. When it
Yeah, there are definitely things you have to do on your own to have skin in the game, and you bring that to the table to collaborate. You cannot be a partner. See, people go to people with the wrong mindset. What I mean by that is they go to people like this, right? Instead of like this. This is give me, give me, give me. Why do I want to give you something? Do you know how hard I work? Do you know my story? Do you know how many degrees I have? Do you know how much money I invested in my degrees? Do you know that I'm still paying for school? Do you know what I'm dealing with to have got, or what I've dealt with to get to where I am? So you can't come to me like, give me, give me, give me. But you can come to me with your hand like this in a partnership. But then you bring this to the table, I bring that to the table, and we win. So even with partner with a Master P, I don't go to him like this, give me, give me, give me opportunity. I'll drop something on you guys that many people probably won't even know. Master P being a legend in music, I haven't even had one conversation with him about my music. That should be a big aha right there. I just dropped something on everybody.
There you go.
You get what I'm saying? I didn't even mention it. Whether he knows about it or not, I have no idea, because that's not what we're doing right now. This is what we're doing. If it just so happens to come about and he learns about it, great. And there's an opportunity. But you gotta know, people gotta have proof and understanding of how to collaborate and how to partner with somebody. But having skin in the game is the most important part. So you could try to do things on your own to get you to a place, but then when you go to collaborate with somebody, you gotta come to the table with your part, whether that's your money, your resources, your opportunity. Show me what you have, and then I'll be able to partner with you, and we can do better things.
Oh, Tiana, the gems that you are dropping in this short conversation. Again, if you don't have a pen and a piece of paper out and you're not taking this stuff down, you are missing out on the keys and the gems on how to be successful in any industry that you choose to go into. One thing that I do want to go back to is our conversation about the 9 to 5 piece. Like, talk just a little bit about the steps that you took to transition from being in a corporate or like traditional 9 to 5 setting to move yourself into entrepreneurship so people can understand how that process works too.
Okay, no problem. So the key thing is that while you're working your 9 to 5 job, you have to build your money chunks. And I talk about this in my book, 7 Laws to Entrepreneurial Success, the Millionaire Mind Manifesto. You have to have money to do the things that you aspire to do. So while you're still working your 9 to 5, you are now stacking your money, as I call it, money chunking, right? So I did that. While I was working my 9 to 5 job, I was doing things on the side. I was doing production. I had a whole Elements of Hip Hop dance competition that I was doing. I was doing production. I was even acting. People don't know this. In my book, I talk about it. I've never talked about it before. I was in a Spike Lee movie. I'm not going to tell y'all which one. You got to get the book to find out what I was acting in. But I was acting like whatever I can do to generate money until I made this major move. When I quit my 9 to 5 job, I knew that I needed part-time income to give me full-time money. So I thought about real estate and bartending. That was the only two things I could come up with. I did go to that bartending class one day. That didn't work out. I really did. But I ended up doing real estate where real estate pays you in money chunks. So if you did one deal, whether it's a sale or a rental, you can make 4 grand, 5 grand. So you think about it. If you do enough of those small deals, you save that, you have 15, 20K. That 15, 20K is what you need to actually start to do something else that you aspire to do. I mean, that was my way. There are so many other ways, but using the same concept of putting aside enough money to do the things that you aspire to do. So I went into real estate, started as a real estate agent. I was not a boss. I was just an agent making money for a broker until one day I realized that I was making him rich. And I'm like, wow, I'm giving up 50% of my money, which is cool if that's the dynamic. I just didn't want that to be my forever. And so I had this brilliant idea to launch my own real estate company, black owned female real estate company on Wall Street, which I called it Gold Star. And that was my ticket out. So I actually went to the broker at the time and said, listen, I want to do this because I didn't want to do it behind their back. They offered to partner with me, offered me $250,000. I turned it down. And when I turned it down, everybody that I knew called me crazy. But you look at some of the legends out and you look at some of the greats who turned down big record deals and
Yeah.
big opportunities and look at where they are. So I had the same mindset, although it wasn't music, it was real estate, same concept. So I turned that down, and because I knew, at least then I knew my worth, right? You go through seasons of knowing your worth, and you lose it. Know it, then you lose it. But that's just life, and right. But but I doing real estate was my key. But let me tell you guys something that's a very important point. When I got into real estate, I didn't get into it to just sit there and do deals all day. Even when I was a broker and I was had my own agency, I wasn't trying to just sit there and do that. I invested my own money. Wink, wink. Here I go again, investing my own money. I invested my own money to hire a camera crew to film me and my agents making money on Wall Street, package a sizzle reel, took that sizzle reel to a production company, got that production company to commit to signing me and taking my project into NBC Universal, which got me my own television show called Powerhouse on NBC Style Network. So I'm just showing you that I didn't just settle. I was doing this back then. I didn't just settle for I'm a real estate broker. I took my money, I invested into something that was going to help me to build my brand and build my exposure. And that deal on NBC, although the network ended up closing down, Style Network, we were actually slated to air after Rihanna had a show at the time called Style to Rock. It was the same network as the Tiana Tamara show. That was the network that greenlit my show. And we had tremendous success. I mean, you Google it, is there when they talked about the launch of Powerhouse. But that was just another testament to me investing my own money, my own resources, and my time, and to say I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do something greater. So getting my NBC deal, running my own real estate brokerage, training agents to do what I did, duplicating the system, generating my first $1 million, and now taking that money to do all the other things that I do now was how I launched my success journey.
So then talk about the book, because I feel like we need to unpack this book to bring it all full circle so people can really know here's where you go get this blueprint. So tell us about the new
Okay,
book.
all right. So my book, right? You got to go to Amazon. Literally, I have not even told anybody that it's out yet. But you have this first exclusive, okay?
Yeah.
This book. So let me tell you what's so interesting about this book. In about I want to say 2019, I wrote my first book, and in 20, I'm sorry, I could be getting the dates wrong, but I wrote my first book, and then I added to it, wrote a second book.
Okay.
I've been promoting that book for quite some time. It wasn't until about 3 or 4 months ago that I woke up one day and I said, I'm scrapping my whole book, I'm throwing it out. And I did that. I took it down off Amazon. I scrapped it. I said, you know what? I'm doing everybody a disservice because my last edition came out in 2019. And if you knew the things that I've gone through from 2019 till today, throw that book away because they have no idea. That's literally how this new book came about. I pulled the book. Now I scrubbed it, kept some very important content in there, and literally sat. And people on my Facebook and Instagram, they'll know because I will post when I was writing. I literally sat for the last 90 days every day, typing everything that have gone through since 2019 until today when it comes to business. And the mindset that I had to have and do have to really get people to the next level. So I take individuals on this journey of unlocking your $1 million mind or unlocking your millionaire mind. Because what I realize is that none of my success strategies will work if you have not unlocked your millionaire mind. Let me give you an example because this happens all the time. I will announce that I'm going to be doing something iconic with the legendary Master P. Whereas you would come out to a master class, you will invest to be there for 2 days, right? Let's just use this as an example because it's very recent. Do you know within 30 seconds, someone will see that opportunity and immediately say, I can't come, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
See, that is so bothersome to me because let me tell you what that tells me. First of all, you did not even take a moment to figure it out. And that's the 3 words that I love to explain to people. Figure it out. When you want something, you have to take a pause and figure it out. You don't submit to, I don't have it, I can't afford it, it's too far. Why should I do? Like, what is that? I mean, you got to stop and say, people don't even ask a question. People don't even say, give me some time to figure it out. Can I leave a deposit? Is there a better payment plan? Is there any way? I know I need to be in that room. Can I figure it out? I mean, that seems so simple to me, but you'd be surprised how many people step away from opportunities because they lack the understanding and the mindset. Do you know, in managing some of Master P's pages, and again, I'm just using this as an example because it's relevant to my life today. There's so many people that comes into his DMs and say, when are you coming to Virginia? He's going to be in Dallas teaching, but you're asking this icon, when is he coming to Virginia? No, you get on a plane and you go to where he is. You don't ask this man, when you coming to me? Who are you? Like, it's the little things like that. And I could go on and on. I literally could do a whole series about the stuff that I deal with. And I've been wanting to do, that might be my next little adventure. Because you'll be surprised how many things that make you go, right? Ooh, I'm going to add that into something. I talk to P about that, right? But no, but it's like the little things that people, I get people to say, oh, I can't do it because I had a death in my family. My mother died a couple of months ago. Like, what does that mean? Like, what? So a death stopped your life. Like we supposed to move on. That person's gone. And I know it sounds harsh, but like when my mother died, I couldn't sit in that. When I had a broken relationship, I couldn't sit in that. When things happened in my life, I couldn't sit in that. So I'm not going to let an opportunity pass by because life happened. Life is going to happen. I'm going to say, look, my mother just passed away. Give me a couple days to get my mind right if you don't mind. Somebody's going to respect that. But I'm not going to lose an opportunity because I'm in grief. I'm not going to lose an opportunity to move on with my life because of lack and because of something I don't have. Like, what is that? And that is very frustrating because I wish people understood the value of unlocking their mind and going a couple of steps further. And that's how I reach success. Invested in myself, taking a risk on myself. I told a client today on one of my coaching calls, I said, I'm going to break into the Dallas market. I don't know nobody. I might know 5 people in Dallas. I might know 5 people in Dallas or Texas as a whole. Maybe 10, because I just went to Houston a week or 2 ago and met some great people. But I'm going to break into that market. Do you know anybody? No. That's going to help you? No. Do you know if it's going to work? No. I'm going to invest in myself and figure it out. Like that's the key. So don't ask me about how to make money if you are not willing to bet on you. Why do I want to bet on you and help you and take the chance on you if you're not even willing to bet on you and take the chance on you and help yourself? It's ridiculous. It's
So
ridiculous.
I we coming up on time, but I think there's one more thing that I need to be able to bring out that people can really find value from, and that is how many times did it not work and you still kept going?
Exactly. Whew. Mm.
That is, to me, from the multiple times of being able to talk to you and even being able to follow you on social media, that is one of the things that I've been able to take from you and your journey is I'm going to try it regardless.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give it 100 times 2, and I'm going to see where this thing works. And if it works and if it doesn't, I am okay with saying I gave it 100 times 2 and moving on to the next thing and keeping the ball rolling. I think that's critical.
Yeah. It's so funny that you said that because you say that because it is true. Like you there are quite a few things that I've done that did not work or you didn't make the money that you were looking to make, but you don't stop. It's a constant reinvestment. When you get into the world of entrepreneurship, that's part of the game. Like that's part of what you do. You take some wins, you take some losses. But as you're building, you're putting money aside, you're putting reserves aside, you're but you're constantly focused on the goal to win. So let me tell you the difference when it comes to a fixed and a growth mindset. See, a fixed mindset is going to take a loss and internalize it and be hurt by it, sit in grief, be pissed off, angry. They look at the failure as what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Whereas us growth mindset and lions and lioness, we say, where did this go wrong? We separate ourselves from the failure or the situation that didn't go right. It wasn't a Tiana thing that it didn't go right. I'm gonna separate. I'm not gonna own that failure. I'm gonna say what happened here and how can we fix it? How can it be fixed? I don't sit in problems too long. And that's what I think a lot of people do. They get ingrained in problems and it didn't work out. And now they don't ever want to do nothing again. My book didn't sell. I'm never going to write another one. My movie did I'm never going to write. I got rejected. I'm done. I'm never going to do another one. No. And one more secret to my success is this is going to sound, let me see how I've never said this publicly, I don't think. I'm good with consistently generating money and living the life that I desire. The life that I desire, I'm in a 7,000 square foot mansion. I have a nice little fleet of cars. My son, I have one son coming out of college, one going in. I have enough to sustain myself in terms of my day to day. I'm building, of course. I constantly reinvest in myself. People laugh at Dame Dash, but I watched an interview that he did recently where he said, spend your money, invest your money. I think even Tony Gaskins, who I look at times, you invest, because I'm like that. Like money sitting in the bank for savings, for that money is not coming with me to the grave. So I'm going to reinvest that and be able to build it and do something with it. Right. So yes, we want to reserve. Yes, we want money for, life to happen and things like that. But I want to invest in my money and let my money grow and do things with it. So I'm constantly reinvesting and betting on myself. But I'm good with that if nothing else happens in my life. Right? I'm good with living comfortable. So what's your comfort level? Get to that. And that's why I'm able to get up every day. And I tell people, I don't walk around my mansion. I glide. I glide. I glide. I glide. Because I could glide now because I'm happy and I'm at peace. Right. And now I only do things that make me happy and peaceful. I literally just joined a new gym, right? Because I gained this 20 pounds. Don't ask. We're not going to talk about that. But when I tell you I'm so happy to go, like I enjoy it makes my life so happy. And to sit in that sauna, to sit in that steam room, to work out, to be, whereas for some people it's a struggle. And it used to be a struggle for me. I had to shift my mindset on working out.
Yeah.
Because but it started with me finding a place that made me happy. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
But I'm using this gym as an analogy to say when you start doing the things that make you happy and you enjoy and being
Yeah.
around the people that makes you happy, life is different. So you don't need millions and millions and billions if hundreds of thousands keep you happy. And that's so it's not about, although I teach people how to generate millions, it's about generating whatever makes you happy and being in that place and gliding through life happy. That's the goal. And that's how us lions think. And that's how growth people think, So that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
We dropping the mic on that. Like there's no better way for us to end this conversation. I am your host. It's just Miss Wells. You guys follow me on Instagram, Tiana Von Johnson. Please tell these people one more time where they can keep up with your movement at.
Yes. Go to tianavonjohnson.com. If you guys are interested in working with me, getting my book, whatever. Like I tell people, it doesn't matter how you support, liking or following or commenting. It is support to me. masterpmasterclass.com. Just getting connected, Facebook, Instagram, all social media platforms at Tiana Von Johnson, and definitely going onto Amazon, picking up my new book, 7 Laws to Entrepreneurial Success, The Millionaire Mind Manifesto, and downloading my movie on Amazon Prime, Motivate Her, Volume 1, Therapy.
You guys know, until next time, this is Fleet Nation Podcast. Shout out to Classic, Fleet, all Fleet individuals. Until next episode, we are out of here.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.